All right, so one last lecture here before we really shift into DAX demo mode. I want to take some time and talk about some of these common function categories. And a lot of these should look pretty familiar to you, especially if you've spent some time using Excel. They do map pretty closely to some of the Excel function categories, especially math, stats, logicals, text, and the date and time functions. That said, there are a few areas here that are quite a bit different in DAX, like filter functions, table functions, and our relationship functions. But basically, what we've got here in the math and stats category, you've got your basic aggregation functions, your sum, min, max, average, count, etc., plus some interesting DAX functions called iterators, which actually evaluate row by row for each table. Sometimes those are called X functions because they all end in an X, like sum X, average X, rank X, max X, etc. But more to come on iterators later. Next up, we've got our logicals, basically returning information about values in a given conditional expression. So these are all based around those if statements, if, and, not, or, and then there's a really fun one called switch here that we'll do a demo on as well. Next, you've got your very familiar text functions. These manipulate text strings and can be also used to control formats for things like dates, times, and numbers. And these should also look very familiar as well. Concatenate or ampersand, left, mid, right. You've got capitalization rules like the ones we practiced in the query editor with upper, lower, and proper, and then some useful options like substitute, trim as well. Next up, we got filter functions. This is where things feel a bit more foreign and unfamiliar, but they include functions that are designed to manipulate tables and filter context to really create more dynamic types of calculations. So the most common example here is a formula called calculate. And we'll spend some time in this course really focusing on calculate. The other ones that we'll really hit here are filter and all, but there's a bunch of good options. After that, we've got table functions, which can be used to create an output table of data and not scalar or single values. And some of the most common used functions here in this category are distinct and values. We've got some joining functions like union and intersect, and table manipulation functions like top n. In the date and time category, you've got your basic date and time functions, as well as some advanced time intelligence operations. So your basic ones should look pretty familiar: date, diff, year, frac, your component functions like year, month, day, or hour, minute, and second. You've got volatile functions like today and now, and then time intelligence. Now, these are pretty interesting, and we'll do some really cool demos there. But the functions here like dates year to date, dates quarter to date, date add, dates and period, what these really let you do is create things like rolling averages or year-to-date totals and some other pretty cool date-specific comparisons. And then last but certainly not least, you've got relationship functions that allow you to access and leverage active and inactive relationships within your data model. Now, within these functions, we're really only going to cover related in this course, but the other functions here are super useful as well, like use relationships. This allows you to access inactive relationships within your DAX code. So some pretty cool stuff there. So big caveat here, this isn't a comprehensive list of DAX functions. There are many other functions, some of which are very more advanced or more specialized. There's trigonometry functions, parent-child functions, information functions. So the ones that we're going to cover here are some of the most common and some of the most powerful, and really some of the ones that you should start with when you're first learning. Just to set that expectation, this won't be a fully comprehensive review of DAX. The plan here is to get you started with the basics and hopefully give you a deep enough understanding that you can begin to explore some more advanced scenarios on your own. All right, so with that, let's roll up our sleeves and it's time to start writing some more DAX.